Hey guys, so this is going to be my director's cut for my video essay. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you guys know that this video is not 2 minutes. If you guys saw my storyboard or not, it was pretty long. So this video is actually 6 minutes long, so I'll try not to pause too much so you don't have to stay here for too long. But I will be pausing in between. So if you want to see the whole, video essay without the pausing and answering the questions, you can go on the Kaltura page. I think I will link my video from Kaltura onto the discussion board post and the YouTube version. So if one doesn't work, you can see the other one, of course. And yeah, so let's get started. Oh, sorry. That was okay. STEM. Humanities. You've heard the age-old debate. STEM is the field that prepares you for the real world. What even is a humanities? Okay, first of all, sorry for that second sound effect. I will definitely be sure to take that out. But that beginning part was kind of to give a little bit of a dramatic entrance, to kind of hook the audience in, if that makes any sense. And this is me, of course, as my avatar. You will see me, this pixelated avatar throughout the whole video because I guess I couldn't get myself to do it on camera. So yeah, let's keep going. That field is for people that have money from their parents' trust fund and can afford to learn things like critical thinking and the like. Okay, first of all, sorry for the audio if you guys are using headphones. It only comes out in the left ear. I'll be sure to fix that in the future. Also not really a funny joke, but okay. Yeah. Even though those skills are very important for the real world, STEM is producing graduates that are furthering the world in technology. Which one should I wanted to have that beginning part to show, just to like introduce it a little bit, the whole subject at hand. Should I get my child into? Which one should I get into? A lot of these factors are fueled by universities funding these programs, for good or for bad. Now, with that thought in mind, if you really think about all these factors and where they've proliferated from, they're probably from the government. Alright, again, sorry for yelling in your ears if you're using headphones or earbuds. But yeah, this is the start of the actual topic of the video, which is basically about how STEM is indirectly pushed over the humanities in state governments and university governments and just like the regular government in general, and like how that affects employees wanting to have either STEM graduates or humanities graduates in their offices. So yeah. Oh. Hold on, let me lower my volume because this is very loud. Okay.
Frick.
Not really that funny, but okay. You may ask, how do you know all of these schools are mostly funded by the government? Well, according to 2018 secondary education government data, state and local tax dollars cover the bulk of U.S. public school funding. The federal government spends just under $55 billion per year on K-12 education, in addition to outlays for early childhood education and post-secondary programs like loans and grants for college tuition. So obviously, most of this money is going towards good causes and not necessarily towards the pockets of the management. So I wanted to show this part to demonstrate the different ways that governments allocate funds to schools in general, so then later we can break down a little bit of how those government funds that are being funded to public schools mainly are to the STEM field and humanities field. So, in schools. It's important to also remember that private education does not receive funding from the government, but the funding of these programs kind of works the same way. Alright, this is just a note for me. I might want to include how that is similar in a way or not. I feel like I just kind of threw it in just to end that point, but yeah, okay. Now, with that in mind, we must talk about how the government funds these programs and indirectly pushes STEM over the humanities. So yeah, this just wanted to show how the government prioritizes STEM over the humanities. I only have one example from the Trump administration, but I think it would be also nice to put something, to put efforts made by previous administrations to maybe prioritize STEM or maybe even prioritize humanities, because throughout my research, I did find that throughout the 60s to 80s, the humanities has been, the humanities was increasing in the number of students enrolled in those courses, in declaring those degrees. So maybe something from that time to make a contrast. Yeah. So clearly, this motive brought some good results. There are many more examples that go all the way back to the Clinton administration. And so, as you can see, it has been in effect for quite some time. Alright, I said Clinton administration, but that might be wrong, so, okay. Certainly isn't stopping now, especially with new developments in technology such as in VR and aerospace. And many employers benefit off of this budgeting in general. Bringing in STEM graduates brings in improved productivity, reduced costs, increased competitiveness, improved brand recognition and value, new partnerships and relationships, increased turnover, and improved profitability. So that part was supposed to be for how businesses would also benefit from STEM graduates. Something that I mentioned previously was kind of like the goal, along with how the government impacts people going to STEM, stuff like that. So a lot of these effects can possibly be because of a person's STEM education, but only if the school emphasizes entrepreneurial skills more than just rote learning skills, which is usually not the case in many schools right now. Alright, sorry for my stuttering. I guess I got really nervous and I didn't find time to re-record. Anyways, this part is supposed to be a quote, I think, from a scholar from one of my sources that I use in my literature review. It's not like a direct quote, but it's like paraphrased. But I did not cite it, so I will definitely be sure to cite it in the future. But I couldn't find time, so yeah. But it could be that kids are already interested in STEM education, and it's not just about being in it for the money. According to edsource.gov, the budget with which the legislature approved this much in Government Brown signed yesterday includes a $6.1 billion increase in funding for K-12 schools. It calls for nearly $400 million for programs promoting science, technology, engineering, and math education, ranging from STEM teacher recruitment to after-school coding classes to tech internships for high school students. Alright, I don't know if I should read out these quotes or not. Maybe you guys can help me out with that suggestion, if I should read it out or not, or if I should just show it on the screen and be like, pause to read. So yeah. Just want to note that this is from the state of Florida, but as you can tell, that is a lot of money. I mean, isn't it quite expensive to fund STEM right now? And what is the real point of funding STEM if it's so expensive right now? Well, it goes without saying that funding STEM does produce results that boost the university status as having strong programs in such a leading field in the world today. But do these results really show that STEM is worth pursuing? From a business and capitalistic perspective, it makes sense, a decision that outweighs the risks over the pros. I think I said that metaphor wrong. Outweighs the risk over the pros. Anyways, please ignore that. But yeah, I think I would want to say how it does that in the future. Alright, keep going. From a student's perspective, as we mentioned before, many cite STEM being very unforgiving. The teachers act as gatekeepers and overall lots of content, which will only increase as changes in the field get reflected in curricula. Alright, what I meant to say lots of content, I meant to say the amount of content in STEM is ever increasing. and it's already a lot from the beginning as opposed to humanities, which hasn't really changed in many years. And yeah. And by the way, that's supposed to be like a math degree, I think. It's supposed to be like behind bars, because gatekeeping. Anyways. So, improving the field is only at the cost of students. I wonder where we've seen that before. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, boosting the university status clearly does not involve fields such as the humanities, as they don't do much to make the university seem like they are putting an effort to make the students well-rounded, apparently. The humanities are largely unchanging. Just look at any curriculum current day, which is mainly due to less funding and less potential in the field as a whole, as seen by teachers and administrators. So I kind of put those quotes there specifically because I thought it would go well with what I was saying at that point, but it may not be. I might move that forward in the video or something like that, or maybe cut it out entirely. But I still think those are good quotes to have, but I'm not sure where I would put them. So if you guys could help me out with that would be nice. Anyways. And because of the results of this education, a lot of people are not willing to go into the humanities to risk their futures. Even the students themselves don't see this field as applicable to real life, and thus the field doesn't get any funding from not only universities, but the government itself, reflected by enrollment. This is just one. Okay, that was supposed to say enrollment numbers. It got cut off. I'm sorry. I'll fix that in the future. But, I feel like I should be a little more positive, I feel like I've been saying all these good things about STEM, and, like, humanities is all bad. But I feel like it's not all bad for humanities, like, as long as people need to learn about the civic world and stuff, it'll always exist. So maybe I can talk about that, the positive aspects of humanities and how it actually helps, the government with, like, the economy or, like, employers and stuff. That's a good idea. Let me know. Example, but the government clearly benefits from innovation, as seen in STEM graduates working in STEM companies, as it brings in more tax money than people in the humanities. The support for STEM makes sense, but for humanities, the increasing pressure for creating graduates that are technology literate, along with skills emphasized in the humanities, i.e. communication, teamwork building, etc., which is quite ironic, it only shows that you need both fields to be taught to students to properly be well-rounded people, not only in the corporate circle, but life in general. Alright, sorry for, if you guys hear any sound, sorry for that. I feel like I should have, like, better visuals for this part, because I know at one point, like, in this video I made, there was, like, part where it was just literally this avatar the whole time. So if you guys could suggest anything to put in this section of the video, I'd really appreciate it. But then what about this? According to an Insider Higher Ed article, a $60,000 per year history professor teaching 200 students a semester, for example, can generate surplus revenue so that a $130 per year engineering professor can teach 30 students a semester. To bring up, as this shows that there can be a way to elevate both fields without losing benefits. Alright, I don't remember what got cut off, but something definitely did, so sorry for that, I'll fix that. The government, each other, and the students. But this is only an ideal, and isn't reflected in monetary means or the trends of today. Hopefully, students will not have to fear too much about the job market to get into the humanities, a main reason that is consistent with the data. Overall, the improvements, especially in humanities, need to be made with this idea in mind, making both fields bring graduates that not only have the skills that STEM and humanities promise, but also secure in the future many means, not just financially, but emotionally so. Alright, so that is basically the end of the video. I'll keep playing it, obviously. But, I kind of wanted to conclude the video with kind of, like, a nicer outlook on life. I feel like I should, like, try to, like, balance out the amount of talking about STEM, because I feel like I talk about it a little too much, and, like, not enough the humanities, just, like, one section with not many appealing visuals. So if you guys have any suggestions on how I should, like, rewrite that part of the script, or what visuals to put in that part of the video, that would be really nice. Alright. Thank you for watching. and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, so the first question is, what is your goal or purpose for your video essay? How do you relay that information to your audience? So I'd say my goal is to kind of first introduce the topic itself, which I feel like I kind of did. I wanted to do more of that, but like the video would be like over 7 minutes because I had this whole segment basically where I would show the pros and cons of both STEM and the humanities. If you've seen my storyboard, it's basically like a whole like Pokemon battle segment. It was kind of cool, but it would be too long. So I might want to still include that, but like in a more shorter way. So yeah, the beginning of that was supposed to be to introduce the topic and then go into why the government funds it and funds STEM over the humanities, and how employers can benefit from STEM graduates, and like in both STEM graduates and humanities graduates. At least that was part of the goal. I feel like I didn't really talk too much about the humanities, and specifically about how employers could talk about employers could benefit from people in the humanities. So I feel like I can do that a little bit more. I feel like I relayed that information fairly well. I feel like it's kind of all over the place though, and it's kind of like not balanced, like me talking about STEM versus humanities. So that can be something to improve on. What questions do you have for your audience? What would you like feedback on or help with? Okay, so if you guys watch the video, basically whatever I said there, that would be nice. I could really appreciate all that feedback. I guess a general questions would be, how can I improve the balance between STEM and the humanities, talking about both of those subjects, with those goals being how the government impacts the STEM and humanities, and how employers impact STEM and humanities, like enrollment wise and stuff like that. I guess other general questions could be about, should I have that like segment? Should I talk a little bit more about like the pros and cons of both STEM and humanities before I get into it? Because obviously, as you could tell, it's 6 minutes. Obviously, I couldn't get it down to 2 minutes. So I feel like I should still have that introduction part down so we can like kind of like dig deeper. I guess another question would be, do you guys think I went deep enough, or was the information organized enough to understand? And I guess my final question is like, any suggestions on improving the editing style? Originally I wanted to do this on camera, but I don't have like a nice camera with me, so I couldn't do it. I decided to edit it more like a collage of pictures and videos and stuff like that. So hopefully it's okay. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this commentary and maybe watching the actual video, and have a good day.